I've always noticed one interesting trend. The older people get, the less creative they become. With each passing year, the creative component is replaced by schemes, systems, and algorithms. Dreams fade away. Plans take their place instead. Freedom is limited by deadlines and unspoken laws. Order always emerges. And over time, it begins to work in its own favor. The scariest thing about this system is that it sets limits for us, telling us to turn off our heads and go with the flow. The danger isn't that we're forbidden to think, but that we ourselves, over time, stop doing so. The moment when this happens is impossible to detect. This is the very point of no return from which we must stay as far away as possible. Answer this question for yourself. When was the last time you thought about yourself? About what you want to achieve, where you want to go? Anything. If your head is quiet, it's a bad sign. Silence isn't calm. It's the moment when everything has already been decided for you, but you can still take control of your life. Answer one simple question. Are you still thinking? It all happens gradually, from an early age. From school on, we're told not to stand out. You're not smarter than everyone else. You're just an upstart who thinks he's a genius. And at some point, you start to believe it. We can't disturb the order that's been established for years before us. Otherwise, chaos will ensue. It's easier this way, when no one asks questions. There are fewer and fewer questions, but the answers we're told are always growing. This doesn't make you any dumber. You simply stop doubting those who represent, or should represent, authority. But is their opinion truly so correct that it should silence you? Or do you need to doubt to avoid going crazy? Want to see what it's really like? Check out the Metro series. Even after a nuclear war, order remained in the tunnels and stations. Ideologies, both those that existed historically and those that people invented themselves, are still present. Communists, fascists, Hansa, all these are relics of the past that have become a reality and a necessity for survival for Metro residents. Different names, same essence. In Metro, there are both friends who will help.
Come here. You're Artyom, right? Sit down.
And enemies which are best kept out of sight. People live and survive in these conditions, but no one has freedom of thought. Everyone here lives by the rules imposed by the new life. Only memories of the past remain.
To the surface? I've never seen Moscow, just the old pictures.
Moscow's gone. Soon we'll be gone too. And the monsters will inherit the earth.
But there were other cities. In St. Petersburg, Minsk, Kiev.
People might have survived somewhere else, at least for a while. But so many years have passed now, we've heard nothing from them. The other cities didn't have defense rings like Moscow did. What a great city it was, St. Petersburg. The cathedral and the admiralty with its spire. I remember summer nights at Nevsky Avenue, crowds, laughter, kids with ice cream, beautiful slender girls, the music, and the air, sweet enough to drink. What a beautiful world we've destroyed.
Only human nature remains unchanged. We need to claim new territory.
Are you okay? He's been knocked out! Help him get out of here!
They bring an idea into the world because it will help you survive longer than your neighbor's ideas, and they go to war with the slogan. but everyone goes to war except those who bring these ideas to the masses.
Why did you join the army?
I followed my political beliefs.
As for me, I'm here for the dough. How about you?
Me? Join the army, they said. See the world, they said. Huh? My father was a Red Army soldier, and his father as well. It's the family tradition.
So tell me, Lev, is it also your tradition to lose arms and legs on the battlefield?
They were happy to make those sacrifices.
Sure. Drunks and fools are happy too.
Soldiers fight not for the truth, but for ideas that don't even belong to them. They fight for ideas they haven't even tested. This was the case before, this is the case now, and this is the case in the relatively near future.
So are we getting paid or what? Mars himself couldn't survive on ideas alone.
Quit your yapping! Eros Manian will pay in advance, a full clip to each man. But as honorable soldiers, you are expected to spend that ammo on the enemy.
That's right, Comrade Commissar.
The party teaches that only the communist
The protagonist of the 3 games is Artyom. He's an ordinary guy trapped in the system. But unlike everyone else, he can dream. He wants more than just to exist on the station under his stepfather's wing. He wants to be like Hunter, brutal, strong, fearless. Artyom isn't stronger than others. He's not a soldier, he hasn't seen battles. He simply hasn't yet accepted the rules of his new life, which means he still has a choice. He just wants more than just survival, and he's given the opportunity to change his life. Shortly after Artyom meets Hunter, the latter goes missing. Artyom must complete Hunter's task that was given to him before Hunter disappeared in the tunnels.
The devil knows what's happening out there, beyond your perimeter. I must go recon the situation. Listen carefully, Artyom. If I'm not back here by morning, you must get to police station and find a man named Miller. Tell him what's happened to me, and what's stirring in the northern tunnels. Show this to Miller, so he knows I've sent you. I trust everything to you, Artyom. Don't let me down. If we are to survive, this threat must be eliminated, no matter the cost. Eliminated. Understand?
In reality, although everything seems much softer, it doesn't make it any easier. No one is forcing you to live by a pattern. You agree to it yourself. You fall into the rhythm. Work schedule, fixed salary, expectations limited by the laws of your employment contracts or living conditions. But I'm curious to know one thing. Is this your personal choice? Or is it simply the most convenient option for you? If you're happy with everything, perhaps it really is your choice. But ask yourself, did you come to this conclusion yourself? And if so, how? If you have ambitions, then the question is, what keeps you in this situation? Let's use me as an example. My observation extends not only to those around me, but also to myself. I, too, was forced into the confines of the modern world, the system. But I've always wanted more than just a 9-to-5 job. This channel is proof of that. I simply started with what I had and moved on, giving food for thought to others whenever possible. Because I want to find people like me, those for whom these boundaries only hinder their lives, who are interested in testing their limits. Artyom tested his strength first in the metro tunnels, which are far from friendly. Then, on the surface, in the ruins of a dead city that had once been home to everyone. He walked through the entire metro, learned what kind of people existed beyond his home station. He also visited the front line, where the communists and fascists fought for their ideas. He also learned about places where ghosts of the past live instead of people.
A battle raged here long ago. The defenders still man their stations. Follow me, but remain at my back. Castone lapio asterium manto. Castone lapio asterium manto. Alum ram. Om castone lapio asterium manto. Castone lapio asterium alum ram. Om castone lapio asterium manto.
He endured all the trials, but accomplished the task Hunter set for him. He challenged himself not because he wanted to, but because he had to. Thinking outside the box doesn't always mean being creative. It means questioning the answers you've been fed, not the ones you've come up with yourself. If you don't start thinking for yourself, someone else will. When was the last time you questioned someone's words and judgments? Who decided that something should be normal to you, that you're not worthy of more? It's time to start thinking for yourself. This means stop taking everything on faith and filtering everything they try to pass through you.
When it has been years since anyone's heard anything but static and white noise on the radio, who could still believe we are not alone on this earth? My wife, my comrades from the Order, my friends, people from my station. Nobody believes me. They are sure that there's nothing on the radio. Sure that save for us who hid in Moscow metro, there were no survivors of the last war. We are alone on this planet, and in the metro it's common knowledge. But I did hear that call on the radio with my own ears. Yes, it was immediately drowned out by the static, but I had heard it. Which means that somewhere out there, under the skies, there's still a habitable place. We're not doomed to live the rest of our lives underground. Still, nobody believes me.
Metro Exodus raises the theme of doubt. Everyone around us says the world is dead, that we're the only ones left. Our brave hero, Artyom, a seasoned soldier by now, begins to realize something is wrong, and he sets out to uncover the truth. He wasn't sure, but he checked, and he was right. Even his wife didn't believe him.
More of nothing? Artyom, the only thing I can hear is that Geiger counter ticking. Don't you think I'd also love to live on an ocean beach or in a green forest? But what good are these fantasies in a silent world? Silent, Artyom? Because it's dead.
Until she saw a completely real train driving across the surface.
Artyom, are you seeing this? I'm not just imagining things, right? A train! A damn train on the surface! Where?
Yes, thinking is difficult, uncomfortable. No one will believe you. You'll be alone. But not thinking is even more dangerous. If Artyom hadn't found that train, he would have remained living in the metro, knowing that everyone around him was actually right. But things turned out differently. He was ready to prove everyone wrong. But that would have disrupted his normal routine. Afterwards, you can't help but wonder, which is better? Think but be alone, or not to think and be surrounded by like-minded people? If you question everything, you risk being seen as a madman. If you don't, you'll simply become a puppet in the hands of others. But what if we look at the situation from another angle?
We stopped 100 clicks from Moscow to check our Geiger counters. The thing is, they are all in the green, as if they're in a conspiracy. Still, this amazing piece of news doesn't really impress anyone that much. The guys are all confused as to what to do next. And I'm just waiting for answers. And hoping the commander, whom until recently I trusted implicitly, is going to be extremely persuasive in his reasoning.
Meet Colonel Miller, one of the heroes of the Metro game series who took a different path. He, like Artyom, wanted to know if there were other people outside the Metro. However, when he gained access to the SHIELD program, he decided the opposite. It was better to lie for the good of all than to tell the truth, which would create confusion or even chaos.
Could you not have shared that before? Say, before Artyom took that radio outside and caught all that radiation?
No! I only got briefed half year ago. Under a strict, you talk, you die policy.
He came to the other side. While Artyom was constantly surfacing, exposed to radiation, Colonel knew the truth about the world but could do nothing about it. But after Artyom found the train, everything changed. He had no choice. He couldn't turn everything back. Colonel became a hostage to his own idea. And along with him, the entire squad with whom Artyom will later set off on a journey. Along this journey, you can see that the squad members who hadn't paid attention to Artyom's ideas up until this point are starting to wake up and wonder, what if Artyom is right? What if we've been lied to this whole time? Meanwhile, Miller, although dissatisfied with what is happening, does not intend to retreat. At first, he doesn't admit he's wrong, but he also doesn't show the same enthusiasm as his other partners. Every desire has a price. The only question is, are you willing to pay it? The problem is you don't get to choose what to pay. Sometimes you have to give up something you weren't ready for. A white lie can seem like salvation, until you become its hostage.
So, son, care to tell me what do we do
Please,
now?
let us not panic and think constructively.
The truth is no better. By trying to get to the bottom of it, you risk losing everything you have. And the worst thing is, when you get a grasp of the price, it's already too late.
Everything's going to be alright.
And when you understand, there is no choice anymore. There is only one way: forward. Do you want to see what it looks like?
Anna isn't giving up. She believes in me, believes in us, and for a good reason. Thousands of kilometers of track behind us, we are finally approaching Novosibirsk, a dead city concealing her hope for life, the medicine that could save her, somewhere in its cold, irradiated heart. A year ago, we left the poisoned ruins of Moscow, and now we are about to enter another city stiff in the murderous embrace of winter and radiation. Will we ever find somewhere to live on the surface? Maybe. But for now, we're returning back into the bowels of Metro. Back to save Anna.
The arrival in Novosibirsk begins with Artyom standing guard at the front of the train. He looks out over the city he is about to enter, but there's something different about it. Artyom longed to escape Moscow and find himself in the open, radiation-free space. He saw a life that was even better than the Moscow metro, despite its nuances. But fate decreed otherwise. He returned to the city. A different one, but still a city where radiation levels are 10 times higher than in Moscow. Artyom regrets not listening to Anna. If it weren't for him, she would be healthy. That's no longer important. The miller comes to him feeling the same way, but for a different reason. Despite all the differences, they set out on this mission together, just like in the good old days.
Are you ready, Artyom? Follow me.
Before leaving, Artyom says goodbye to Anna, not knowing whether she will survive or not. He and Miller leave the train with a sense of guilt and a clear desire to atone for their sins, to a place where pure hell is unfolding. Having gone through it with Artyom, Miller finally accepts the new reality. However, it comes too late. This acceptance occurs in a stalemate, where one must choose between one's own life and the life of a loved one. Miller chose to save Artyom by injecting him with anti-radiance so that he would survive until he reunited with the team.
No sleeping, soldier. No sleeping now. I did find you after all. Don't know how. Stay with me, Artyom.
Wake up, please! Oh, you're alive! Alive! I thought I was all alone again. Get up, quick! He's asleep. Better leave them be when they get like this. It's just a straight drive from now on.
He tried to teach me to drive, but he's just not like this.
After driving part of the way to the crossing, Miller falls asleep in the passenger seat. Artyom takes his place, taking up the baton. The race against fate begins. At this point, you start asking yourself questions whose answers no longer matter, because there's only one path: forward. I'll let you ask yourself those questions throughout this journey. Artyom wakes up at the crossing. He did it. Victory. But Miller is dead. The victory came at a great cost, so the aftertaste is fitting. is near. Aurora is already here. It's at this moment that you begin to understand the full meaning of the story. You wanted changes in your life. Was it worth it? You wanted the truth? That's the price. Will you be able to survive and face the next day with your loved ones? Or will you not even be able to live to see what you have come all this way for? The world won't change just because you start thinking, but your life can. Not right away. Gradually, you'll regain control. And perhaps for the first time in a long time, it will be yours again, if you are willing to pay the price for it. Everyone wants a way out, but not everyone survives their exodus.